Hi, welcome. Welcome to the Gemara Shiur, Shabbos Kufrin Gimel Amud Beis. We are learning now the last parak of Masechus Shabbos. Welcome to join us. It's really a whole new beginning of the end, but still beginning. So we are in about 10th or so line from the top of the page. Line starts with Yohiv Lei. Yeah, there we are. Ein Sham. The story is as follows. We're learning here about, and before I continue, I just want to tell everybody this shiur is for the Ilun Neshama of my dear father Menachem ben Akiva, and for the Hatzlacha and Hatzala of the hostages and the whole of Klal Yisrael. We're learning this scenario of the Mishnah. What happens if a person was be'oines, unexpectedly, a person is traveling on the road too late Friday afternoon. It's getting near into Shabbos. Shabbos is coming soon, and no, he's not ready. He's not home. He's walking down a Reshus HaRabim. Yeah, let's say like a intercity place, highway. He's walking. He's on his donkey, whatever, and he has a pouch with money. Now, if he's going to carry the pouch, it's Chilul Shabbos until he reaches a Mokim Yishuv, a place inhabited by people, yeah, a place that's populated. It's going to take time, and he's walking with that wallet. It's Chilul Shabbos. He's walking even without Mukta. I'm talking Doraisa. He's walking and he's doing here Chilul Shabbos. Why? He's taking Dalad Amis on Shusabim. He's walking and then stopping eventually in Shusabim, or he's going to stop eventually in Shusa Yochid. Both cases, Chilul Shabbos Doraisa. So what can you do? We don't tell him to just throw away the wallet with the money, his hard-earned money, or money that he found. No, because he won't be able to resist. Sometimes the Yitzhar for money is just too big. So Chomim allowed him, Chazal gave special dispensation, either to give it to a goy, even though normally Mir Nochri Shvus not allowed, as we said, Daf Kuf Nun Amadala for Mir Nochri Shvus. Here we allow it, so the person should be Mechalad Doraisa, they allow the Rabbanon. If there's no goy around, then he can give it to either a cheresh. No, before that, he gives it to his donkey. Not gives. He places it on the donkey if he has one, and we're going to discuss the exactly how it's being put on the donkey. That's all the issue we're going to discuss today. He places it on the donkey, and the donkey walks with the wallet on his back or other big valuables. Yeah, on the back of the donkey, which is also usually not allowed because of an issa called mechamer. You can't walk with your animal or any animal and work with the animal together to lead it in the street while it's carrying something for you. Also, if the animal is plowing or doing other malacha, you can't supervise it and be with the animal. It's called mechamer, which is an issa doraisa. What happens if there's no animal? Number 3 option, if there is a person there with a shoite, a person who's mentally incapacitated, you give it to him, and he's going to do the job for you because they're not for the mitzvahs. If there's no shoite, what do? Then you give it to either a cheresh or a koton. A cheresh, a person cannot hear. His mind is a little bit stronger, better than a shoite, and that's why it's preferable to give it to the shoite. If there's no shoite, give it to the cheresh or a koton, a person under bar mitzvah. Okay? Zog the Gemara. Now we can start the shiur. Ein sham lo nochri velo chamo velo cheresh velo shoite velo koton. The guy's all alone, or in company of other adult Jews. There's no goyim, no behemoths, no weirdos, cheresh shoite koton. Excuse my language. No, nothing. What do you do then? Yeah, we always concern the person. If you just tell him to throw the money away, throw it away, he won't listen to us. He'll be Mechalel Shabbos. So let's say there are no solutions to get help from him, her, and this and that, the other. It's just him. What's supposed to do? Omer Bitzchak, says Bitzchak, Oy decher soisok. There was another kula, another solution that Chazal allow. Chachamim did not want to reveal that kula. What does that mean? So first of all, we're going to see what is this hidden kula. What does it mean? Chazal didn't tell us about it. And thirdly, why didn't it tell us about it? Zok the Gemara, let's analyze what the Yitzchak is talking about over here. Mayo decher soiso. What does it mean? There was another kula over here. It says molicho pochas pochas midal adamis. Molicho pochas pochas midal adamis means what? The person is molichoi. The person may walk with the item less than daladamis, stop, and walk another distance of less than daladamis, and stop, and so on and so forth. What are we gaining here? Well, clearly, the Isser D'Oraisa, this is something we have to understand. Many Rishonim explain what's the business of not walking with an item, daladamis b'shus harabim, a bit more than daladamis. The Balamor, Ritva, many explain as follows. Every person, when it comes to Choshen Mishpat, Mitzia, Gitin, many things in Allah, Tchumin, every person has these daladamis, either 4 to each direction or 2 to each direction. It's a shaila. You have your domain, your realm. When you're walking down the street, you are, imagine a sci-fi movie that you saw many years ago. You have like an aura, or like a circle of daladamis all around you. Yeah? And they're your domain. Oh, let's say I have daladamis ahead of you. When you take the object, you pick this up from the floor, and then you walk 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 4 and a bit. It's keilu you went from one rishus to the other. The original me in the movie is in point X. I'm walking the daladamis that I'm walking the entire domain of mine into a new domain. Yeah, because there's daladamis of Akiva, then there's another daladamis not of Akiva, or the next Akiva. You get what I'm saying? And therefore, it's as if I'm moving rishus loshus. That's what they explain. However, if I take an item and I move it less than daladamis, then I'm okay. I'm still within the boundaries of me. Yeah. So to walk less than daladamis with an object in my hand, Akira, I take it. I walk 3.9. Stop. Then it's fine. I did hanocha. End of story. Now comes a new story of less than daladamis, and I'm okay. What do you mean by okay? Well, it is osir derabanan, generally speaking, unless it's a real emergency, like in our case, it's an oines. You're not allowed to use, and this is exactly what they did not discover, meaning Chazal said, of course, if you do less than daladamis, you're not over Sodoraisa, so it should be okay. Yet Chazal did not tell you that if you have a goy and you have the less daladamis option, let's have 2 options. Right next to me is Tim McKenzie, a goy which I don't fully trust, but it's something. By the way, anybody who does know this, Tim McKenzie is a fictitious protagonist. It's not a real person. I'm sure that many people call that way, but yeah. Let's say there's a guy next to me, whoever, Tom McKinley, yeah, or Habib Abdul, and I don't know if I trust him or not, right? I can either give it to the guy, or I can do the less than daladamis, which I think is fine, because it's not an Issa Doraisa, right? So it should be the Rabbanon, and also it's guy's the Rabbanon. And I prefer keeping it to myself. I don't trust the guy. I want to take it myself and do boom, 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 less than Damas. Say Chazal, according to Rashi and according to other Rishonim, no, that's the hidden business. What is hidden? Chazal actually only mentioned in the Mishnah the solution of the goy, right, or the chamor, or anything else, because if you have another option, it's literally asur the Rabbanon completely to take it less and less daldamas. That's the hidden business here. It's not stam hidden. It's keilu. The front row is to give to the goy. There's an option of giving the goy. It's asur to take it less than daladamas. That's pshat that it's hidden. And the Ran says it's not written in the Mishnah because really it's asur. Only if there's no goy. And no cheresh, no shoiter, no kotor, no chamor, no donkey, no shmonkey, no nothing. Then you do the the pochas daldamas. That's pshat hidden. It's behind the scenes. It's a last resort. Yeah. Amai lo rotze chachamim legaloisa. Why didn't chachamim want to tell us about it? Why don't they openly write it in the Mishnah and give it as a valid option, as one of the first options? Why should I trust the guy when I can do it myself and be very slow and very careful? And they're forcing me to give it to the guy, not to take it myself. You know why? According to Rashi. Mishum, you know why is that? Why Chazal so machmir? Kvoid Elokim has till dovo, ukvoid Melochim chakoir dovo. First of all, the reason why it's hidden, why we didn't mention it bichlal, it's not mentioned in the Mishnah for a reason, because it's really not a good option. Because apparently, surprise, surprise, sometimes it's a covet of Hashem not to teach all parts of Torah to all parts of society. You see it with a person who's not up to learning Kabbalah, or person maybe Mekel in Hilchas Tznius, and it says it in Forshin Chagiga, whole Mishnah. You don't teach Arias, yeah, to too many people together, because they'll be Mekel. Yeah, when they have a whole big shiur, people don't always listen and ask the right question, may get the wrong idea. And they make Tzahar for Arias. Or secrets of Torah, of course they don't tell everybody. So Kvad Elokim has to steal, to hide. That's a covet of Hashem. Kvad Malachim Chakor Dover. Go all out, you want to be up front, American style. So then that's Kvad Malachim. When you want to investigate the king, want to investigate the prime minister, the king, the leader, yeah, him should be investigated. Yeah, in this country they do it too well. In other words, when it comes to human being, you should be unabashed. Comes to Hashem, you don't always open everything. But still, as the Gemara, why? Still, I understand that sometimes I am supposed to hide halacha, not teach it to the public. That's what's not written in the Mishnah. The Mishnah, every child learns the Mishnah. It's written in the Gemara, in the Brisa, behind the scenes. But why? Why can't everybody know it? And why is it such a bad solution? Answers the Gemara, to say it very bluntly and a bit rudely, you're going to lose it. You're going to say, in other words, if you are going to walk the whole 2 kilometers, less than Daladamas and stop, less than Daladamas and stop, you're going to out of your mind. And eventually you're going to say, Yalla, we'll just start walking. Or maybe you'll just, miss the less than Daladamas. It's a very, very tricky heter, right? You may not measure right. You may just, lose it and say, I'm just walking. And therefore, Chazal wanted to hide it and should only be known, but as a very big b'di'evid, that people should first of all know only the goy should be the one or the other options. This is the very last resort. Tanya, now, okay, says the Brisa. I just want to point out for those who remember the beginning of the Masechta. I take off my hat to you. The beginning of the Masechta in the about Daf Yud Zayin there, we learned interestingly that really one of the 18 decrees of Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel about Tumah V'Tara, they had like that special tragic day. They said that Beis Shammai were the winners and not Beis Hillel. And though that day was so a big day in Jewish history, when they forbade 18 different things. And then it says, what did they forbid? They told you, to give one of the 18 things is when they told you in such a situation to give the pouch to a goy. It's very funny. What do you mean? To give a pouch to the goy is a kula. Why is it mentioned as one of the prohibitions? Says Rashi over there. Look, he says no. They told you to give it to the goy. At the same time, they forbade you from carrying less than daladamis. That's pshat. They only allowed you to give it to the goy, like a golden cage. We do allow you that, meaning don't do the other thing. So less daladamis is osir, unless you really, really have no other choice. Tanya, now very, very interesting hashkafic machloikes between two tanoim. I'll tell you in advance as a little intro. What is it about? Many times when Chazal make a gzera, or in general, lehavdil, Rabbani make a gzera takana, some people say, yeah, very good, Aser, the internet, the shaitel, yeah. And some people say, oh no, that's too much for us, right? It's lahavdil, we're not on the level of Tanaim. Here in the Brisa, we see also two Tanaim arguing whether that gzera was a good thing or a bad thing. Only Tanoim can argue like that, because they themselves are on the same level of those who made the takana. Tanya, Reb Lezer says, Barbayam God Shusea. What God Shusea? Seah is a measurement. Imagine yourself a cup full of, let's say, I don't know, flour or anything. Yeah, God Shusea means they added more. They added more, like a heap. They heaped up the seah, which Rabbi Lezer says is a good thing. Soon I'll explain to you why. Ligdosh means you have more. In other words, assuming that chumras is a good thing because it keeps us away from sin. If I have that much flour and now I can add more, the more the better. Many times people naturally don't like chumras, but if you know the chumra is a way to keep you away from sin, good, the more the better. The goyish the heaped up, and it's holding very nicely. Rabbi Yeshua no, Baba Yom Mochkuseo. You know what Chazal are doing? They're too machmir. So instead of having more, they're creating mochu less than the minimum, below the bottom line. They're taking away from minimum, because Yeshua says it's so hard for people not to walk the lesson Daladamis, and they so much prefer giving it to, sorry, people prefer walking lesson Daladamis and not to give it to the goy. People would like not to trust the goy, to trust themselves, to walk very, very slowly. And if you don't allow that, they'll break the oraisa. With your chumrah of not giving to the goy, they'll break the oraisa. Let's see how the Gemara elaborates on that. Tanya says the Braisa, Moshel do Blezer, Lemod Ovo Doime. Blezer says the Moshel, what is this like? Lekupa Melea Kishuin Vidiluin. There's a kupa. What's a kupa? There is a kupa, a box. Imagine yourself, what's the cell? I said flour. Some as I wanted to par, for example. Says a blazer. Imagine yourself a box, whatever, container, full of kishuin diluin. It's full of cucumbers and courgette and whatever, big vegetables, diluin, pumpkins. Adam nosin otocho chardo, v'imachzekes. Let's say now you have a box with big vegetables. Now you want to sprinkle inside, you want to fill it with what? Seeds of mustard. Mustard seeds. And the mustard seeds, they infiltrate, kind of, they trickle down. Why not? You have some chumras. That chumra can also come in and enter, and it won't overfill. All will be well. People can and should take the extra chumra of not telling the goy, of yes going to the goy and not schlepping themselves less dal. Moshe Rabbi Shua lemod avodoyme, Rabbi Shua, who did not like the extra chumrah, how does he view that that action of filling the measurement? La reva melea dvash. Imagine yourself in a reva. A reva is like it's a bigger bowl full of honey. Imagine yourself, you have something full of liquid, such as honey, all the way to the top, and you put in there nuts and rimonim and pomegranates. It's obviously it's going to overflow. So too, that's it. People can't take too many chumras. Yeah, like we say in a few places in Shas, what do we say? Yeah, that gzera she'ena tzibur yochel amod bo, Chazal are not metaken gzera, people cannot stand. Yeah, of the Zohar lemedvav amud beis and above Pastor Samich amud beis. Says Abada Barav. Now we're going to the nitty-gritty, to the small details of that business of what? Putting on the chamor, right? Let's remember again. What's the solution? No goy. Mackenzie and Abdul they're gone. They're not there. It's just me and my donkey and the Kodesh Baruch who is looking, and I got to do something with my wallet, right? There is a chamor. What do? I put it on the chamor, and he's going to do the job for me. He'll schlep it for me. Now the Gemara has an issue with that, yeah. And before we continue, in order to really successfully understand the next sugya, we have to revise a little bit, and it's a good chance to revise the very beginning of Masechta. Really not hard. It's just very good revision of how does Hoitso Milshus Arabi Milshus Yochid or Daladamis Milshus Arabim, how does it work? Let's see. Let's see the following. Yeah, let's do a little bit of show and tell. Tell me, please. What happens if, in order to be chayev on Hoitso, yeah, either from Yochid to Rabim or from Rabim to Daladamis, next Rabim, how many actions do you have to do? 2. Akir and Anocha. You just said it all. Now you know it all. Very good. No, seriously. You need what I call the circuit. Akira, take it from the floor, let's say. 1, 2, 3, 4, walk. And then boom Hanocha, then you chayiv. Very good. Or another another problem, another way of doing the same, it's in your pocket. Let's say in your pocket you have something, I don't know, tissues, whatever, something valuable, big enough. You're not taking from the ground. And when you are standing, let's say you're standing, let's start. Our story begins When Mr. Shlomomovsky, he's on Shabbos, standing by a traffic light, a red traffic light, right, in front of a big, crossing, and now his box of tissues is in his pocket. He's doing Akira by beginning to walk, and then Dallas Amis plus, he's then stopping and doing a proper stop. Oimed lanuach, not lofush. That's all thing. Lofush to stop. Then he's chayiv. Even I didn't pick the tissues from the floor. The tissues are in his pocket. But the mere fact he's picking up his feet to begin to walk, and then he's walking, Dallas Amis, and then he stops. That already is also Akira and Anocha. That's very easy and possible. Question, a little bit of Akadama one step further. What about if I walk Daladames and I keep walking, and as I'm walking, I'm giving it to you, and you walk and then you stop. I did the Akira and you did the Hanocha. None of us is Chayev, but it's also Midorabonon, Shnaim Shosu. When we both are partners in crime, no Isudoraisa, because neither me nor you did the whole spiel, the whole gamut of the thing. I did the Akira, did the Hanocha, it's also Midorabonon. Okay? Right, good? No, nice. Now, wait a second. What happens? All these introductions are good because now, once you have the intros right, the Gemara is going to run so smoothly, you have no idea. What about the following case? I'm walking down the street, nothing on me, I'm a nice from Jew. As I'm in the middle of motion, I'm walking, somebody else takes something from his pocket in the street, and as I'm walking, he puts it in my pocket, and I'm walking, right? And then I'm stopping. Am I chayev?
No,
Very good. Why?
because it takes two actions.
Very good. I did not do Akira. Very good. Very nice. Oh, I'm the walker. I'm the power walker. Yeah, I didn't do Akira. I'm walking at this tipish. He's not chayav either. Why? He just did Akira and then put it on my moving body, and therefore he did Akira, did Anocha. Lamaisa no Isadoraisa. Oh, now what happens? And I know it's a little bit redundant, but it's good because now we're getting to our case mamish, where we're almost there. What happens if that's a very easy answer? If I put it in someone's pocket, he's standing. Someone's standing with the traffic light, absolutely still. I put something in his pocket, and then he started walking, and then he stopped. He did Akira and Anocha. He's chayiv, and I'm potter, right? I didn't do anything. I did less than the other damas. Yeah,
It's similar to the example of like when a poor person, Yanni, sticks his hands.
100%, yeah. I was impressed for a reason. Now comes the question. What did we say till now? Put it in the donkey. Excuse me. To work with the donkey, I want to elaborate more because I saw a beautiful piece now today, this evening, from the Ramban, Rashba, both. There are two types of malachas that are also to do with an animal. One isser is when my animal works alone in the field without my hadracha, without me being involved. He's just doing work. It's an isser of what? My animal has to rest. Yeah? Or if my animal is carrying a burden, not for me, it's usher. Because my animal should be resting, not doing work on Shabbos. Yeah? Now, there's another isser, and this is our isser in our sugya. Mechana means when I'm working together with the animal. Like here, I'm leading the animal. I go like, hey, Bessie, walk, stop, Bessie, in like the dog trainers. And I walk with the animal, mashgiach, that should walk the right way, even if I'm not touching it, but I'm making noises or motions, and I'm working with the animal, then it's also with any animal, even if it's not mine. Yes, because it's not about be'emtecho. You are called a mechamer, meaning you are donkeying, meaning you are working with the animal. Then, even if the animal is not owned by you, you didn't buy it, it's someone else's animal. This animal may be Mahmoud's animal, the hamor, but if I'm working with it, that's an issa de oraisa too. Yes.
By working with it.
I am walking behind the animal or in front of the animal, and I'm leading the animal with noises or with voices or with
he's plowing. Like
or in this case he's
nothing.
carrying. No, that's all Zach. I have when I'm shouting means that I like what you're saying. Shouting but means a good thing. It means you're a choshev guy. Oh, I'm a diamond dealer and I bought 2 kilos of expensive diamonds. I'm not going to put them anywhere, right? What do I do? Mackenzie left me. So what do? I only have the chamor, the other Mackenzie, the chamor. So I'm saying, oh, okay, no problem. Take the thing with the diamonds, place it in the chamor, and he's walking with it for me. What is he doing for me? And I'm around. I'm around. What do? I and the chamor together are walking, and he's carrying, and I'm meshgiach. I'm supervising the walk, maybe making noises. Rashi talks about the Rambam talks about the fact you're also involved in all that, and that's also. So the Gemara is asking the question: what kind of solution is that? Now, finally, we can start the Gemara. Omar v'adabaravo manicho aleh. Yeah, Omar Mar. Yeah, what did we say? And Manochi manicho lachamor. Right? If there's no, the Mishnah said already, no nochri around, no goy, put it on the donkey. Frag the Gemara, what? V'alo mechamer. He is mechamer. He's working with an animal. Rachman Omar, with the animal, he's working together. It's also Rachman Omar. This is in the Ten Commandments given by Moses in Sinai. Lo tase kol malocha, ato binchu ubemtecho. You and your animal should not do work together. And according to those Rishonim, even not your animal, you and the animal should not work together. And you are. The animal is carrying the Shus Rabim. The animal is over Isadorais, so to speak, and you are involved. How comes that's allowed? Right? What did we gain? So if anything, give it first to the Shoita. At least that's not Isadorais. It doesn't know what he's doing. Omar Ravada Barava. Therefore, Ravada Barava says as follows. Don't worry. Aha, now you'll appreciate it. You know how you do the mechamer? Wait until the animal begins. Oh, let me first give the intro. I know it sounds funny. We have to look at the animal now as if that's a human being. Meaning, if the animal is over Issa Doraisa, if what the animal does is also at this point, that's what the Gemara thinks. If the action of the animal supervised by me, what the animal is doing is also Doraisa for a human being to do, then I'm over in Issa Doraisa. Oh. So the Gemara's question originally was, wait a second, let's restart it, let's rewind a second. The animal, if I put it on the animal when it's resting, the animal is now standing. Yeah, we all stand 5 minutes before Shabbos. Hey, guys, let's recalculate. Let's pull to the side. It's Shabbos soon. Yeah, I know what to do. I've been to the shiur and I know what do you do? Put it on the animal. Where's the animal standing? The animal is standing. If I put it on the animal that's standing and then, hey, and she starts walking and then stopping eventually, the animal did Akira and Hanocha, and I'm all involved. That's a big problem. That's an Issa D'Oraisa. It's not a laughing matter. And that's what the Gemara assumed in Avamina, so that's bad news. How is that allowed? Answers the Gemara, Omar Vada Barava, Manicho Alea, Shehi Me'aleches. You put the, what? Wallet, diamonds, on the animal while the animal's walking. That's different. In other words, since the animal starts to walk and quickly, before it walks daladamis, the animal started moving, I quickly, diligently put it on the walking animal, then it's not a problem because the animal did not do Akira. It's like if I'm walking and somebody put something in my pocket, as I'm walking, it's not called did Akira. That's okay. Frag the Gemara, okay, that's nice, but technically it's a problem. Why? The efsher, it's impossible. The Gemara gets very graphic and very real. Every animal, anybody who did horseback riding knows, or donkey driving, yeah. Any animal at some point in the middle of the journey stops in order to lashtin ma'im latil golim, to do number one, number two, to go to toilet, and it stops. Ve'ika kir v'anacho, question mark. That creates a kir nanacha, meaning if the animal is even though you are very smart, Mr. Smart Guy, and you only put it on the animal when it started to walk already, you're placing it on a moving object, but lamaisa eventually in 5-10 minutes the animal will stop, and then it stops and restart the walk and eventually stop again. It needs to toilet twice, or end the journey. So then at some point there will be a renewed Akira, followed by Anacha. So the dangerous circuit will be created. and it's all being done for you with your supervision. The answers the Gemara, I have a good solution. Shehi me'aleches minicho alea. Sheoimedes not lo imeno. According to most Rishonim, except for the Rambam, says Azoi. When the animal starts walking, what do? You place it on the animal and you avoid what? You avoid akira. Because the animal was not oiker. It was ne'ekar, started walking before you placed it. And then, she'oimedis not lo himena. Very good. When the animal stands to do the toilet or whatever, take it away. Take it away quickly before it does the renewed akira. And then after it starts reigniting the engine, the next time it starts walking, then you put it on it. And then you always avoid akira. The animal is never oiker your object because you always, every time again, place it on the animal who's starting to walk. That's good. Although the animal does half an avera, the animal, what does it do? It only does hanocha every time it goes to the toilet. It's always hanocha without akira because they always place the object after it started moving. It's all good, so easy. If so, even his friend, wait a second, this is such a great solution. Why are you telling me that goy, chamor, crazy people? Why? Why can't you say simple that even another yid? Let have two yid and do it together. In other words, I and you and I are together in such a situation, Khalila. You start walking slowly. I'll place it on you. You don't do a kir, you don't do anacho when you need to stop. Let's do the same shtick between two human beings. Because you're telling me, right, there's no Issa here. Amar Papeno, Kol shebegufo chayv chatos, bechaver potor vel osu. Kol shechaver potor vel osu, bechamor mutor lechatchila. Let's explain. Says Rashi something very, very fundamental, which is a huge game changer. I want you to understand right now there's a big, now comes the new item, so to speak, which we didn't, a new scenario we didn't speak about before. What happens if I am both Reuben and Shimon, meaning, let's say, as I'm walking down the street, as while I'm in motion, I pick something from the ground as I'm walking and put it in my pocket, and I keep walking. Surprising, and then I stop by the red light. Chayev hatos. Yes. Why? When the item is on me from before I started to walk. No, when I'm walking and somebody else places it on me, that's fine. But when I'm the one who picked it from the floor, I did akira. And then I kept walking, so what? But the item was on the floor. The item was on the floor, stationary, completely still. And I removed it. I upset it. Even though I walked straight away, it's called akira. And then when my body stops with the item in my pocket, then it's called hanocha. Oh, let's read again. If I did both picking from the floor and placing in my moving body and stopping, it's chayav chatas. Meaning, if you and I do the same shtick, and as you are walking, I put it in your pocket, that's called, as you very nicely said before, we said shnaim shosu. That's also medorabonon, and even in such a case of hefsed mammon, you don't allow it. No, shnaim shosu is more chomer, you don't allow it.
Can I give you another example?
One second. Kol shechaver poter vel osu, bechamor muter lechatchila. Shnaim she'osu is also medorabonon. If I pick up and place it on your moving body, and you keep walking, and then you stop, I did akira, you did anocha, be'as is also medorabonon. By the animal muter lechatchila. If the animal and I are working in a way that by human beings would only be dorabanon, animal is always one level less than human beings. And therefore, for the animal and I, it's allowed to do it. I don't know if it's always allowed or allowed for the need of the money. That's another shaila. But in this case, it's for sure allowed. So let's summarize, and I'd love to hear what you want to say. So let's summarize. Very poshut, meaning the animal and I working nicely together in a way that would be also dorabanon. Because the animal is just an animal, not a human being, it's this week's parsha, Bilam. Bilam treated this animal like a human being too well, and therefore, but we don't do that. We look at the animal as an animal. So if I put it in your moving body and you keep moving and you stop, I did akira, you did a noch, it's also darabonon. The same mechanism by me and the animal is muter lechatchila, is allowed. That's what the animal is fine. Yes.
So let's say you live on the top of a big hill and you start walking down to shul.
Yes.
On Shabbos.
Shkoyach. Very good. One more case. One more case. First wide line. Let's say a person doesn't have a small pouch with diamonds or credit cards. He has a big kind of burden package on his shoulder. And it's getting very, very late. Here we have an alternative solution. You know what he can do? It's almost Shabbos. Ratz tachteo, start running. Ad shemagil beisoi. Run non-stop until you reach home. And just don't stop. Why? Because before Shabbos came, as Shabbos is coming in, I'm already in motion. I didn't do Akira. No Akira done on Shabbos. So I'm just running, never stop. So there's no Anocha, Akira, Anocha, just one continuous movement. Eventually you come home, you only did Hanocha on Shabbos, and we're assuming that that's okay. So the Gemara, however, I do have a question here. Yeah, yeah. Let's leave a question for later. Zog the Gemara, wait a second. Dav karatz. What does he have to run? Aval kali low. What about walking? I understand you shouldn't stop. Why do you have to run like you're crazy? You're in a marathon? Why can't you just go kal? Why can you walk slowly but continuously? Yeah? In other words, just, okay, I understand. Don't stop. No red lights. Hope the policeman doesn't catch you. And don't stop to look at the cats or the trees. Just keep walking. But we have to run. Why running? My timer. Why? Why can't you walk slowly but surely, and continuously, non-stop? So the Gemara, says Gemara very good in human psychology. When you're walking the normal way, you don't act differently to the rest of the week. Then you may come to do Kira Nanocha. You may stop for a second to look at something, do something, red light, thing, shmuz, vishmuliki, whatever. When you run, you remember I'm on the run. You remember I'm doing something different that will avoid you from doing a Kira Nanocha. Frag the Gemara, one more question. Soif, at the end of the day, Kimata Lebeise, Yefsha Delo Kai Purta. When he comes close to his house, the door is closed or even open, there's always this half a second that you stop before you come in. Yefsha Delo Kai Purta. You stop for a second before coming home. As much as you were running, you're panting, running, you're almost home. And if you stop for a second before coming home, then you come in and you place it there in your dining room table, then you ran all the time, you avoid the daladamis b'shus harabim. But a second before the b'shus hayachid, you stopped in b'shus harabim, and then you did akira and anochen b'shus hayachid. Then again you have your so on Shabbos. This is already on Shabbos. Answers the Gemara, this is on the Gal Halacha. This Darik Lek Lachar Yad, Enochinami. When you do the Hanocha indoors, you can't do the Hanocha nice and normal. Do it in a strange way. Throw it backwards. Throw it in a way, take your backpack and throw it. Like that. Do a Hanocha in a meshug in a crazy way, that's Shinui, and that's why it's only also the Rabbanon, and that's why it's okay. One more point of the Rishonim before we finish for today. The Rishonim ask, wait a second, that's such a nice solution to run. Why can't you do it for the pouch? Why only with a big chavila? With let's have a pouch. Why the goy and the animal chamor daladams run? They say no. When you have a small thing in your pocket, you'll forget and you'll stop. When you have a big chavila, two reminders: you're running and you have a big thing on your shoulder. That would be a good reminder not to stop. When you have something small in the pocket, you'll forget about it. You're just walking normal. You may come to stop in the middle. Shkoich, we really have to finish. I want to hear you, but let's say goodbye to everyone at any time. And I'm very impressed with I remember all these inyanim of Kira and Anocha. I can see you doing the Chazar very good. Well, should all learn from Jason. Very good Chazar. Amazing. Shkoich. And thank you very much to everybody. What was he wanted to